Come on, we gotta get this. Oh yeah, I gotta just click on live streaming. What was that? Plug up the cord, baby. The power cord to the speaker. Hey, much love. Well, I, I, I guess I was. All right. They got on dragon tails. All right, are we here? Are we here? Are we here? Okay. Now let's see if they let me get the Discord link. How come they won't let me post the Discord? Like they hating. YouTube hating. Share link. All right. I know, and I don't have time to help you that much. So I just did something fast. Oh, ay caramba. Ay caramba. But sometimes that's why I like expressions. Expressions allow you to get stuff out in the expression, and then it's over with. As long as you truly believed in that expression, that's why I like going to the top of there since I saw it on that Vice thing and just scream sometimes. Well, at least I did that a lot last year. I haven't done that much this year, to be honest. But yeah, magic scales for dragon scales. I used to love dragon scales, man. Emmy wished on a dragon scale, and that's what started Dragon Tales. Around the room that dragons flew, but Emmy and Max knew what to do. They climbed on the backs of they dragon friends. Now the adventures never end. Like, what? I love that. Yeah, I have a Discord. But for some reason, as I was saying earlier, they won't let me post it into the Discord. I mean, to the YouTube. But I sung that because the words, they knew what to do. Like when they got there, they ain't really know what to do, but they knew they had to jump on them dragon backs. They wasn't like, oh wow, we just took a hit of this. Now what we gonna do? That's some strong stuff. Dragons coming out the walls and stuff coming. Like the dragons, yeah, the dragons was off with stickers on the walls and they came alive. they, they had to know what to do in order to go to Dragon Land. And they had to just breathe and jump and have that adventurous spirit going on. Be willing to let go of all that mattered here. Because it's wild. They left this world of matter, and went to another world where things here didn't matter anymore because they wasn't in this matter as I was saying earlier. But when they came back, they still like came back with a lesson. Just like the trips. Just like the trips. People be like, man, what happened over there to you don't really matter. Like it's just hallucinations. It's just this and that. But then we like, but I feel different. I feel as though here I'm transformed, I'm transfigured. And it's starting from like this inner reality engine that I didn't even know existed in me. That's based off of these feelings that's even beyond my emotions. But when I'm in that dragon tail world, I'm in that feeling beyond emotion world. Then it's somehow, some way, I don't know, it's connected to here and has adverse never ending story kind of as above below effect. What is that? Butterfly effect. The butterfly effect thing. It's like a butterfly effect. I did something there and now it's changing the scope of realities or something. Or something. This is something I drew. You can't see that. Hold on. I just found this. I drew this a while ago. I'll be holding on to my little scraps because I'd be like, yo, these are whole worlds. I don't just want to. I'm weird like that. I don't just want to throw them away. I think I wrote stay woke. But whatever that means. Focus. I got a manual focus going on here. There we go. 8:49. Yeah, kids shows use the trip to other realms to teach a lot, like hearing beyond sound, seeing beyond sight. Yeah, like those sayings, man. When you don't deal with psychedelics and you run across those sayings, it's like it seems like it's all poetry, and that's why I like that it dealing with psychedelics and stuff. When I do, I was always into poetry. I was always a so-called poetic motherfucker, and so and it was like it was always seemed like it was pieces I was putting together in my heart and something else. Like, oh, it sounds nice. It sounds like this go together. But now, like with psychedelics, it's like I know that this is together, or that is it. But when I describe it here, it just seems like poetry. And I think that's how a lot of people have been using these substances to change their lives here, like transforms their lives here and make it seem like they have this come off as if they have this ultra imagination or they're ultra creative or like ultra good at business techniques and things like that. It's because they was literally seeing beyond sight. So when they do their movies or like write their movie, I'm thinking the Marvel movies or even though the comics, give it up to the writers of the comics. When the comic writers was writing these comics that these multi like $1 million movies are now based off of, they just was scribbling down on the paper. Like I doubt that they had schematics. All it was like saying this happened, and then in about 3 years we're gonna write a comic that says that this happening and that this happened and this happened. They just was they just was flowing. They just was flowing with it, flowing with the creativity, sketching it out. Sounds better as a poem, produces a visual landscape. Yeah, it does. It does. And that's what they try to teach us. And, well, that's what they tried to teach me in school. Like saying, like, this was a way to paint. And I felt it. I felt it. And some people feel it and some people don't feel it. But I felt it. I was like, oh, like a good book, the words on there take you to a landscape and make it, if it's powerful enough, make it seem as though you're tripping. To even to the effect that I remember when I first started reading a lot of esoteric books, a lot of things that was going on. Once I started reading a lot of esoteric books, started going on in my average in this dimension of life, like a lot of synchronicities of what I was reading that was going on in the life of these magicians of yonder past, yonder past of way back when, like in the Elizabeth, like John D and Elizabeth being a magician for Saint Elizabeth and all that jizzy jazz. Yeah, they have connection to outside, but entangled knowledge, and then that entangled knowledge is, I think, what keeps them sane. Well, not sane, but comfortable. They like, yeah, I go to the, and it's not until you start dealing with the psychedelics that you just plunged into some unknown knowledge, and then you gotta try to make sense of it. You only can make sense of it with other people that's blibber blabbing. Like, oh, he's blibber blabbing. He knows what he's talking about. I was just talking about how like we try to make sure our knowledge fits in with other people, and if it don't fit in with what somebody else saying, we like brush it off. But yet, the people that hold on, words enchant the mind, causing patterns of illusion. Yeah, they do. All the words, from even sharing the knowledge and things like that. It That's why I'm saying everybody that's part of the show, take like look on to what UL saying, look at what Exile was saying, and anybody in the future that come on to talk, like, cause this is all of us talking together, all of us going at it, because any words like it, the mushrooms be showing me. I could put it in those terms. The mushrooms be showing me how deep a fascination is. Like, you ever been fascinated by something? And I think that's where I got that term from. And vampire, and like the vampire underworld, and like that underground world of werewolves and stuff. A vampire can fascinate you by just look. Well, I was talking about words. I'm going off tangents, but to finish that off, a vampire son can fascinate you by a gaze, and then they got you, and then they can just start talking, and they got you from there. They got you after that fascination. The words that they put can just get at you, can get at you. But to go even another level to words and stuff like that, when I come I practice like trying to. That's why I like being out in the woods. And then that other show we was talking, comparing living on the East Coast compared to being on the West Coast, and how where I am right now, specifically in the West Coast, I'm not always walking into people when I'm out on the streets or walking out in the woods and stuff as like much as I was back in the Philly. So during my trips, and when I just want to just have my own thoughts going. Like, I don't even walk around with headphones in my ears like I used to all the time. That was my thing, headphones. And I just like to like have my own movie playing. Like, oh, I'm stepping, or the trees, like whatever imagination my thoughts can come up with. I wanted to be able to have as justice. And doing so, I was about to go into something else. Doing so, I was about to say, I'm able to also see how other people's thoughts start coming up in my head because I'm allowing myself to not be distracted. Oh gosh, what was I talking about? But going out in the woods and being on mushrooms, coming down from a trip, especially after a trip, it seems as though anybody that's saying something to me is trying to invade my mind. To go through some kind of a psychosis that I went through in the past. I wouldn't even call it a psychosis. We all living in a form of psychosis, for me, so to speak. We just all like getting a handle on that rein and learning how to ride that bull, or we getting thrown and tossed off and saying life is hard. But I was like, everything, when I came down from the trip, it seemed like everything that people was telling me when I was talking to even my girlfriend and my neighbor was something that was being told to me to invade my mind. Like, that's why I call it a psychosis, because it was like a danger response. Like, oh, what is going on? I mean, like, I'm not what's going on, but whoa, it's like, stop, stop, stop. Because it really felt like every word was trying to form something in my mind so that I went back to a way that I used to be. And I was like, whoa, wait, what? It's not, whoa, whoa. And it was so, and I go through that on a level, so to speak, on a daily basis. But after that trip, it was like there. It was there. It was there. So if shown, I learned from that psychosis, so to speak, I learned from that on what I've been doing in the past, to see that, oh, this why I was acting like this, because I did feel like something was trying to change my mind. I just didn't know it was that real. So now afterwards, now that I know it's that real, I have I still have the same precaution about the words, but I'm a lot more relaxed about it. Cause now I know that even my words is forming more words of illusion. Even if I think I'm trying to break somebody else's form of illusion, I'm still just making more forms of illusion where I'm probably coming off as a monster. And you will say, yeah, their words can become thought loops. Yeah, they and through loops. Brain trying to get you. I was about to say get you through something. That would be cool if it can get you through something. That would be some kind words. What's going on, Justin? What's going on? We all laxed. We all laxed up in the situation. Up in the situation. Like, where do those like terms come from? But yeah, we was tying on. Whoa. I pulled the screen over and I have like two windows up of seeing me on OBS and on YouTube so I can see the comments, and I just see myself looking at myself and I'm like that's something about thoughts. That's something about thoughts and calling yourself crazy. Because I think once you live on that level of calling yourself crazy, you miss out on a lot of fun. You miss out on a lot of fun. That's all. I thought I was straightening it out. Yo, True Life, you took the story out of my head. I was going to say the Winking Wizard. But I said that last time and I didn't want to say it again. Yeah, good friends' words can be fuel or a post to lean on. Yeah, fuel or a post to lean on, as you said, you will, because you can be like, all right, I'm in a comfortability. I'm back to a place where I know where things, where I'm able to, I got a handle on things. I know how to play this game. That's how I see it. I know how to play this game. I played this game before. When I come back from trips and it's a good one, like a satisfying one, and it don't seem like I gotta go immediately back. I'm like, wow, life plays out as if I'm playing some new kind of game, or as if I just downloaded a new DLC, so I'm able to do some new. I'm able to get some new features going on. And get some new features going on. So, and sometimes it is. That song just ran through my head. Focus, fire and going. Everybody just needs someone to lean on. Focus. I can't say it fast like I should say it or how pitched. Y'all know that oh. That beat. That song focus, like that's what these songs be having that song. And that's why a lot of times too I be listening to words without songs. I mention this a lot. But since we talking about words and stuff, I like to listen to a lot of instrumentals. I quit my job in the kitchen, said Justin. Things got out of hand. Smoked crystal for the first time in my life. Quick the next day. Wait, what crystal? Cause you tried DMT before, haven't you? You woke up to something. I thought you was enjoying it, or was it like it got to a point where you got something else under your belt where you about to try to live off of. I know you like to be creative with the animation and drawing and stuff like that. Kitchen was taking up too much time. Oh, yeah, that ought to do it. Now I never did it, so I don't know. I do know it makes you real anxious. It makes you real anxious about a lot of things. I had to talk to a friend when he was on it because it was his first time doing it, and he took a mushroom beforehand for some reason. So I was there like talking to him and things like that. He was just real aware, really hyper, and had anxiety of things going on. But he was still cool afterwards. I said, "Whoa, that's a lot." It makes people manic. I can't sleep for two. You can't sleep for 2 days. Yeah, that's what he was telling me. He couldn't get a hold on his sleep. But that's why we have these stories out here, so that we know how all of these things around us act, and not just get the Breaking Bad stories. Cause not everybody gonna do it and then try to open up a clinic or kill somebody or that. But it's a lot that goes on. It's not as hyper as amphetamines. It's actually felt pretty good, a bit too good. That's why I left. That's Justin for you. Hey, yeah, let us know how that. Let us know how that goes. Well, thanks for letting us know how that goes. While I'm at in the future, it's somebody else I know. I don't know him, but I saw him through a friend. He does all of that, and he's up all the time. He's up all the time. And my friend, he's a real relaxed person. So when they was hanging out together, and this was his old friend, and he came back in the picture, but he did hook him up with a nice job. He did hook him up with a nice job, but he was always running and always talking and things like that. And he was just always running, and the boy, I can't say his name, he just real relaxed. It was just funny seeing them two come together. Yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about that in the Discord, as you say, because I want to really tie on that as I try to copy this link from the Discord again and see if they allow me to, or I can do this. uh, HTTP. I'm gonna just type it since I see it. My bad, guys. I just want to make sure that this link gets in here. That this link. 4KZC. Hopefully that link works. I have to manually type it. All right. Yeah, these coke, speed, and such are very addictive, but not very much helpful. Coke is just stupid. Amphetamines is cool, but after a day or three, you go full psychotic. That's the thing, the addictive properties of it. Yeah, as far like I grew up in the hood, so I seen people like do pills, crack, meth, wet, and the addictive properties of them is there, is so there. And that's the wild thing compared to psychedelics. Inherently, like in the chemical structure, the way that interacts with your body, psychedelics is not addictive. Now, psychonauts like us want to keep going into these trips, but it seems as though if mushrooms, like if I didn't have mushrooms in my vicinity for like a couple months or like for a while, I wouldn't be itching or I wouldn't like have something wrong with my liver because they not getting or something up with my organs because they not getting that system going in. Like if you are alcoholic and then you stop drinking alcohol, you go through withdrawal. That's what it is. Withdrawal effects. There's no real withdrawal effects. Effects with psychedelics. That's why some people only did it like DMT like one twice in their life, and they cool. They probably want. They probably we do not condone the use of illegal or legal drugs. I do not saying promote. I'm not saying go do any of this. Any through the words or actions that you hear, do not recreate anything. But they probably have to go in again. Like people that did it in the 70s or 80s and things. Like I did DMT this one time. But you see how it's not addictive? They ain't keep doing it, and then it's some that kept doing it. But it's all like it's your choice. It's all your choice when it comes to psychedelics. Yeah, they do them at first, then the other chems start doing them. Yes, DMT I think about doing every day, but I don't. I thought about not doing coke every day at work, but I did. And that's because everybody else was doing it probably. It's the scenery. It's hip. It's in. Let's go. um have you have you seen how coke is made? Gordon Ramsay went to South America and made a doc on it. They start adding gasoline to it. Wait, hold on. I got a omen coming up. Let me charge this. Put this charger on real fast. Watch out for them omens, guys. They got the good signs of the future. Um, yeah, I seen that Jordan Ramsay video. I actually watched the whole thing, and he was showing how it was coke all in all the restaurants, all the expensive restaurants that you would never. I don't know if you would never think, because you would never even have a reason to doubt it, or to even think that it was in there in the first place. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, you didn't even know to think about that thought in the first place. At least me, but. Justin testified and Jordan Ramsay testified. It was all on the bathroom stalls and everything on the baby thing too that you pull down to change the babies. Like they found a lot of coke traces there. But adding the gasoline, that's yeah. They wilding. Everybody trying to cut stuff. Everybody trying to cut something. You can't cut a mushroom. Well, you can cut it in half and split it amongst your friends, but you can't cut it and then mix it with something and be like, here you go. Unless you're taking it in capsules. I was never given mushrooms in capsules, but I know people do get it in capsules. So I guess that would be what you have to worry about. But when it comes to mushroom dealers, at least the ones I've ran across, and I only ran across two, they're a lot different than meth and even weed dealers. Even weed dealers. They even different than weed dealers. They're not out to get you. Like a weed dealer would still short you, or back in the day in Philly, they'll give you a bunch of sticks and seeds to fill up the bag. Like you only getting an eighth, or you only buying a nick. Why have the nick bag seeds? And I think I went through something with smoking laced weed before, where I was throwing up. I woke up out of my sleep, like it made me go to sleep, and I woke up and I had cold sweats all over my body. Cut it with lemon juice, make it smell good. You right? Squeeze it on there, spray some air freshener. They did used to do that. I remember all of those. I remember those stories now. It's coming to me as people telling me to watch out for that stuff back in the day. Yeah, but it makes it hit stronger. Yeah, DMT has a, but let me not miss you out. DMT has a thing you look at it like I'm going in, then you're like, I don't have time for infinite right now. Yeah, man, like it's a lot. It's a lot and it's nothing at the same time. And I'm gonna know more of that when I get into the DMT. Instead of messing with the phosphorus one, but I'm gonna know for sure. But the feeling I already know, I already like getting a handle on with the mushrooms. But lie the leaf solvent the base. And so hold on a second, I thanks for knocking. The mushies or chocolate. The mushies make me hunt make me hunt the chocolate. Oh, that's what I was talking about. I think I had some lace weed before, and I was had these cold sweats. The wild thing though is that this happened to me twice, so I don't know, man. And it was probably from the same person too, where woke up after smoking. And I had these sweats, and I was throwing up, and I was coming out both ends at the same time. And this was all in front of in front of people too. So it wasn't like I had a choice of trying to hold it together or not. I was like, my mind was somewhere else. And I wasn't even hallucinating. I just felt somewhere else. And I got in the ambulance. They just hooked me up to IV. I probably would have been good if I stayed home. But we ain't know what was happening. They was like, did you smoke crack? I was like, no, no, no. I just had some weed. I just had some weed. It was funny. It was funny. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You 41. Wait, what's going on, Astro Way? OG around the Tyverse and Alley Cat. opium one time, and I think it was crack. Come to find out, a natural form from then on. Oh, that opium is a natural form of crack. Yeah, that's why they was using Wait, let me say good. See you, winking wizard. Happy 41. Happy 41st. Fix that focus. Hey, y'all making me seem young. We all over the place. We got people in their early 20s, they late 20s, they 40s. Shout outs to the bubble rabbit lady. I forget her name. Oh, wait, I was just looking at it. Blue Bottle Bunny Farm. I think she's up there too. Dun, 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 dun. They PCP the weed sometimes. It could have been. It could have been. It could have been. It could have been PCP because they do sell wet a lot in Philly. They do sell wet a lot, and so right, we gonna get them. They sell wet and K2. But I would have knew if it was K2 because it would have been flaky. It wouldn't have been in any bud going on. Hey, I will do. I'm gonna keep tying. It's all I know how to do. It's all I knew. I was bred for this since I was born out of the mama's womb. And they tried to tell me that I was something else, but I always knew. I always knew in my mind and heart that I was supposed to tie. But they tried to tell me I was a Christian. True, true. You said, "What does up there mean? What does up there mean?" I don't even know what I was just talking about. I gotta ask the guy from like 2 minutes ago. Cause up there, in there, outside, and where? That answers that question. I don't know. Cause that's something that I've been, cause we've those all. That's why I said those phrases be getting us on this stuff, but they don't really mean nothing. That's why I like poetry, cause poetry could also mean nothing. Poetry can put all these sweet sayings, all these sweet words together, and the author know that the poem don't mean nothing, but you can make it mean something, and when it means something, it means that. uh, yeah, I do the same thing. Yeah, man. Or else it seemed like I'm choosing a side. It seemed like I'm choosing a side, and I know once I choose a side, somebody else gonna come and do something else. Smoke crystal, quit your jobs. Peace out. Hey man, it's a million different ways to do the things that it's a million different ways. But hey, it's all and the fact that all of these plants make you feel, all of these drugs make you feel a certain way about society. Is dope. I love that it's something that was made into this program that allows you to not mess with the program like that or make you change up what's going on like instantly. Like sometimes you get a clue and you watching around and you sometimes you start getting a clue of things and you like, man, I'm gonna start changing up, or I don't really want to do this no more, and I got this plan, so eventually this happens. And then you start playing both fields, and other times you just, man, All of that. LOL, quit my job and watch Dark Crystal. Hold on 1 second. Yes? Yes?
I was knocking a lot because I need to go this way.
Go ahead. uh, oh, yeah. Yep. We was talking about quitting jobs and things like that. Shout outs to Infinite Waters. Shout outs to Infinite Waters because he says that every single day he tells people to quit their job. So that's another drug. Infinite Waters is a drug. That's why he on there saying the same thing every day. He like, you if you need a hit of me, I'm always here and available. You can come in. He said, if you need a hit of me, I'm always here and available. You know how it is. I'm Ralph. I'm weed. I'm this. I'm something familiar. That's still gonna help you get out there. I haven't heard it. I haven't listened to him in a while, but I used to listen to him every day, every single day, and it's probably because he was saying every single day. It was like until I caught on after. It wasn't until Psychedelics too that I started saying, "Wow, he really saying the same thing every day," or I already know what he's saying, like living what he's saying. When did you first do mushrooms? Said True. I first did mushrooms. The first time I did mushrooms, I split an eighth, so it wasn't really nothing. I was with my girlfriend's sister and their uncle. Their uncle is really cool, and we split an eighth. But it was some little dry, like real thin stem mushrooms. My stomach just hurt, and I was just like, I did feel higher. I did feel a buzz off of it, but it was like I ate a brownie, a pop brownie or something. It wasn't until I did it on my own that I really felt it. And I had brought it off a friend that I worked with. That's how it came by. It was a friend that I worked with, and he sold mushrooms at the ice cream shop. He was going to school for geology, and I will always bring up stuff about magic and stuff. And it was wild because he did mushrooms, but he still was a hard, rigid scientist. But I don't know about now. I don't know about now. He was like a big bear, so to speak. He gets the good bud from Cat down the road. Yeah, he does get the good bud from Cat down the road. Then he want to make videos talking about he don't smoke. Yeah, he do. But yeah, I kept saying I was gonna buy mushrooms from him. Like I never even thought of this story. I kept saying I was gonna buy mushrooms from him, and I kept saying kept playing it off. And I think it had to be because how I was seeing him, because I was on the alchemy and meditation and stuff, and I was learning about mushrooms, but then I was seeing him, and he still had like extra sense and stuff. But when I would talk about extra lives and old, like past lives and stuff, he'd be like, "Man, you funny." But I finally did buy it off of him, and I was on the phone trapping out the ice cream shop. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. Yeah. He was just trying to make a sale. But he was a cool friend. I just was always the weird friend no matter what. Like that's why I find myself always being, even around people that do psychedelics. My thoughts still seem to be way more out there on the average than most. But anyways, I got the mushrooms, and I remember taking it. I just ate them. I ate the mushroom. I saved one because I said that I wanted to do it later because I already had experiences with acid. So I was like, oh, I got this. I got this. I got this. And I did kind of have it because I got setting too. I took the mushroom. I was on the phone. I said, I'm going to go to the park just like I do on acid. I'm going to take the walk up to the park, take it, eat it here. Nobody going to be home all day. And my daughter was over in California, over with her mom. So I like finding housing and get everything situated because they had to be over here to sign the papers. They couldn't do it online and all this stuff. So I had some time, and I said I'm gonna go and use this time to explore my mind. And In hindsight doesn't mean that I regret it, but in hindsight, I wish that I went way more in because I had a lot of more time available compared to what I have now. And the and the person I was doing psychic acid with, she kept saying, "Let's keep going deeper and deeper," and it was me like having reservations about stuff. But overall, blah 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 blah. Um, I did the mushroom and I was walking to the park and I was on the phone. And halfway, LOL, you're not that out there to me. I know you well. That's why I bang with you. That's why I bang with you. And I have certain tears in my head. I'm gonna be out there one day. And I know how I'm. And the thing is, I have a vision of me too. That's how I'm like, man, I'm still playing around. I still have a huge sense that I'm playing around. But you know how it goes. You probably was here before. I don't know how fast you went through it, but I know I'm going through this experience right now. But I was walking up the street, and I was on the phone, and I said, man, it's a beautiful thing to have a different mind. Different isn't bad, just different. Yeah, I always was comfortable with that. That's why I loved Lil Wayne and things like that. When he always said that he was different and that he was a Martian and things like that's what gravitated me towards that kind of those kind of metaphors when it came to rapping and those kind of artists when they was like saying I'm not from this world or I'm just a soul whose intentions are good. Oh Lord, please don't let me be misunderstood. On that Lil Wayne song, I remember that one. But he's still saying, oh Lord. And like, man, I'm Lord. I'm just tired. I'm just tired. I'm nothing. I am nothing. But I was on the mushroom trip. I was on the phone walking, and then I remember I remember saying walking and then feeling some kind of feeling that said, "Man, I don't want to walk anymore. I just want to go home." I was like, "I just want to go home." It was like a panic feeling, but I was aware of the panic, so I wasn't in a frightful situation. I was like, I don't think I can make it to the park, and I was like, I think I gotta call you back. And he's like, what's going on? I said, oh no, I just got like my words started going away from me. My words started really going away, and I said, yeah, I just got it. Why am I doing this to hang up? It was a cell phone. That's that programming doing from TV symbolism. Like, yeah, that's how you hang up the phone when you're doing the symbol for hang up a phone. But now I'm thinking like pressing. I had to go. Dee! I can't talk anymore. And I went home and nobody was home. And I when I walked in the house and this when I experienced my first massive deja vu. Like I was just walking, and then when I was walking, it's I was walking through different layers. Like I have right now I could see the reality of like I'm seeing it like a movie. How it go they got all the sounds on it. And you like and every time I took a step I was somewhere else, but I remembered that I just did exactly what I was just doing now. And each step I was moving, I was like ultra aware of how each step was a different, like a massively different choice from the other step, even though I was just using my right foot and my left foot and like moving. And I just kept saying, wow, I did this before. I did this before. And I just was like walking through realities. And I said, I went upstairs. And the wild thing about it is that it wasn't visual. It wasn't visual, but it was my whole thought process, my whole feelings was there. It was all there. And I went upstairs because I said, all right, I want to relax. I remember saying, all right, I want it to be dark. I was like, all right, I'm ready. I want it to be dark. So I put on the blindfolds. I put on the blindfold and I laid back. And I don't know if I knew how to. If I just needed more. I really just needed to take more. But I remember sitting there with my blindfolds, and just I don't remember. I probably went somewhere or not, but my memory is gone. I just remember a voice or something telling me the or me thinking to myself because I didn't have enough to take away all my thoughts. I don't know. I don't know. That's I don't talk about that much, but it's saying you already know this part. Get up and do this. And I started playing with the cards. I started playing and shuffling my cards because this was around the time when I was trying to when I was practicing sleight of hand and stage magic and researching that kind of stuff a lot, like heavily. I was trying to get ready for birthday parties. Yeah. At least like that was the starter. And but I was messing around with the cards and I was guessing cards. I was like Jack of Spades at the 23rd spot, and I was like shuffling. I was like, wow, and I kept astonishing myself because it was there. It happened twice, and like two other times. I didn't keep doing it like 50 times. I did it like 5 times, and like 3 times it was there, and I was like, wow, this way, that way. No, I'm reading the conversation down there too. Coming up. And when I did that, that was in the music. I had music playing. It was just like I was enjoying myself. I was able to enjoy myself in a way that I wasn't able to enjoy myself in like in a long time. It was like seemed like the first time like that forever. Like I had the acid experience, and but this was it was a lot calmer. It was a lot calmer, and I don't really remember the rest of the day. So I just remember listening to music, and I was just in my house the whole day. I was just in my house the whole day, going through the thought processes, going through all the thoughts that I guess I started exposing later. Like exposing later. Like my thoughts was always private, and I never thought that I would like be sharing them like this. It always seemed like I was on a journey. I was on a journey. But yeah. That was my first time going into mushrooms. And then the next time I wasn't scared at all. But I just didn't have that much money around the time to keep on going in and in. And then I was going more in with acid too. I don't know. That was just around the time. I was just testing things out. Well, until I got to California that things turned up. Turned up for the real. And mushrooms had me. No, no, yeah. I was gonna say mushrooms had me leave my job. But it's wild because I found the patch of mushrooms, and then I and then I was talking about it at my job to somebody that I knew did DMT before, and he was like, "Yo, you gotta do DMT at least once. I think everybody should at least do DMT once." But yeah, he was never getting it for me. No, he said if I got the ingredients for him, he would have made it for me. But if right when I found those patch of mushrooms, like a month later, that's when I left the job. Or they said they say I left the job, but I say they let me go. But they got it all written that I left the job because my jacket smelled like weed. A month before weed was made legal. So, whatever. I tried the dark once, and it was like get up and go outside. All right, around third trip. All right, so yeah, you clearing out a lot of things. Thanks, Joel, because that was the clear. Because in a lot of my trips, is I be hearing things that's like, if I say to other people, I have this other voice that say, man, that was like a thing of arrogance or something. Like, what you mean? Told you to get up? You already know. Like, but that's what I literally did here. Like, I was hitting said get up and do this. And I was messing around with the keyboard. That's what it was too. When I said I was listening to music, I was messing around with the keyboard as well, playing around with tones and stuff. And I was just feeling good. I was just feeling good. And the acid is lovely. Acid is acid is nice. Do I got? Oh wait, what am I doing? I can't just put. I was about to say here goes some right here, but I don't know how potent it is because it's been sitting around for a while. I got it back from my neighbor, and I still haven't had the time to do it because the trip is so long, and the signs around me. I don't know if it's the thoughts or my other thoughts getting to me. Every time I'm about to take it, I read somebody. I literally come across a synchronistic thought or experience of somebody saying how acid. Like literally, I was about to take it one day, and I was like, oh man, I don't have the time to do it. And then I was on Facebook, and I think I saw True. You somebody posted it in the True family saying acid is too long of a trip for them because they took it and then they had to go to work or somebody called them or something like that. But I think in my Todd sense that that's just another thing that somehow created in this matrix that I created to try to trick me to not go. Because every time I go into a trip, I look back and I see all the things that was setting up that I set up that I was looking at through the perspective. That's what it is. That I was looking at through the perspective of holding me back and like because I want to agree with it. We was talking about this earlier, like leaning on a friend, like, oh yeah, they got a similar thought. I'm gonna stay in this reality. Yeah, it's too much time for you, it's too much time for me too. But every time during the trip, I'm like, man, let's just go. Let's just go. It's like another. It is like another, but it can use your inner voice. Yeah, it's straight up using my inner voice, like real strong. And I think because I rely on my inner voice a lot, like right now, I didn't even think about, oh, do I rely on my inner voice? Like, but I felt myself being able to come down from that and question it. But I get rid of a lot of questions, and I've been relying more on my inner voice. That's why I love this channel and talking to True, even like listening to your hustle, like how you just get at it. Like, and you well knowing that he been at it for a long time, and Ollie Cat doing her thing so much probably that she don't even want to talk about it. But I can tell that she just in the mysteries. It's like get me. It's like, man, my inner voice is what they're playing out. So man, start listening to that inner voice. Start playing it out more, practicing on the Ty show. Like this is all like fun play. This is a playground. The Ty show, this is all playground for everybody writing and also for me to just learn to play a little more. Learn to get stuff out. Get stuff out. So then when the cameras is off, I'm still just getting stuff out. It's not like in the beginning days, I was so happy because I was like, man, the Just How Now show is something I can create to get some thoughts out and the. But you just releasing like worries too, like demons onto people. Like I cut all of that stuff out. Cut all that stuff out as much as I can. As much as I can. And what I mean by demon is just like that person that posted that they was worried about that thought post or people that post their worries on Facebook and stuff, like they're genuinely worried about the concerns that's on their mind, and Facebook is an outlet that they've bred themselves into using to get that worry out. So now another person come along and be like, oh wow, yeah, you're right. They start attaching themselves to that if they're not like getting to that inner voice that I hear acid really like got me back into, like getting into like my inner character instead of playing out the the characters that fit into the vibes that are around me. you know, you know how it is, man. They say get in where you fit in. All I'm saying is like get in where you fit in. Yo, why I gotta get in? I just want to stay out here. I want to stay out. I want to get in where I fit in. But yeah, you know what I mean. To me, LSD feels like mushrooms, but without the communication. LSD seems very clean though, but not present with it. Yeah, you able to. It is without the communication. That's why I say. That's why I like it because you able to play like do that playground thing that I was saying. Like I see a lot of people that really get into acid and like me dyeing my hair and stuff like that. Every time I came back from an acid trip, I wanted to do something with my hair. I've always wanted to do something with my hair. I was like, man, I gotta change something. I gotta dye my hair. I gotta add some. Or after the mushroom trip, I started adding these colored curly things in here. I don't know. But it allowed me to go into that psychedelic space, and play and create my character. Create my character. Like mushrooms, they like, well, this is suggestible for like some reason. It suggests certain things. But acid is like, I'm here. What's going on? I guess that suggestible thing is the communication with the alien. With the alien, the LSD is like, I don't know. It's like you're doing it. But mushrooms reveal to you that you're doing it. But LSD is just like, you're doing this. If I was to go to a rave or rave or something, I would do acid and over shrooms. Like I wouldn't do shrooms and go to a yeah, I don't know what the word is. Festival. I was trying to think, thought it was another name for it, but I don't know. It's not coming to me. I started drawing after Lucy. I said, you will. I think a lot of people started drawing and doing the art and stuff. And that's because when you look at when I wasn't in the psychedelics and I would like look at people that would paint a square or a circle. I know we like to draw like figures and like not monsters as in bad things, but creatures and things like that. But the people that like drawing circles against a black background in the white circle and they say this means everything. And then other people start agreeing and stuff. I never understood how like people caught on to things like that. It's like, huh? And I wasn't even a huh. I still appreciate it. I still had an appreciation for it. But to replicate it and then have the balls to say like, yes, this is something. This is what I made. Look at it. Yeah. Like that I think that comes after doing a lot of acid. After doing a lot of acid. Or even acid just a couple times and being an artist at the same time where you allow the pen to be an expression. And now that you say mushies start doing magic and DMT start doing sorcery, what if that is the levels? And I was thinking of like you see the Rubik's cube, they say Lucy is like the regular Rubik's cube you see, and no, weed is the regular Rubik's cube, and then you get Lucy and start adding more squares, and then it gets to mushrooms more squares, then you get the DMT. It's like this damn near impossible Rubik's cube that's this big with like 50 squares going across. You got to turn. I think it is like that. That's why I think with weed, just tie with me. Weed, cannabis, it is a lot of magic to it, and people's lives are very much transformed by it. But I believe only to a certain point. And that's why weed back in the day, they say it's a gateway drug. It should be a gateway drug, but a gateway to the proper, not proper drugs, as if I'm saying what's proper and what's not, but to the head drugs, to the, as the hippies say, head drugs, to the plant medicines, the tryptamines, to the tryptamine drugs. They should be a gateway to the tryptamine drugs because it's like it's a solid progression or a lucid progression. It's a cool progression to go down because the weed, once you start messing with the acid, you start saying, "Oh wow, I feel high." Like I felt high when I was on the acid, but I still was hallucinating fully. Like I was seeing colors and things transforming and all of that. But I still just felt like I was extremely weed high. Because I was already getting used to all the thoughts, the time moving a little slower, me not wanting to do certain things, but wanting to do this instead, of rejecting authority. But it was just on a whole nother level where I was able to not be upset about it, but comprehend the little intricacies of why I felt certain ways, or why, not why I felt certain ways, but why certain things was happening in the world. Like weed get you a feeling view of it, and then it's like weed is a Rubik's cube. Why is that funny? Because it's even more simpler than a Rubik's cube, or more complicated, or is that exactly it? I used to use this black cube vision on blunts. Oh, what you mean by that? Black cube vision. You know I gotta pick your brain while you're here. Well, your mind. I just was looking it up. Oh, I knew they were just gonna show me a damn black cube if I googled it, but I thought they was gonna show me the thing in Mecca for real, for real. But also had this metal smell. Yeah, 'cause weed is a psychedelic. Weed is a psychedelic. Weed. That's why I'm putting in this frame of psychedelics and in the train and line of Lucy and mushrooms and DMT. It's just that when it seems though when you just smoke, you encounter a lot of you you encounter a lot of things that you can't really describe. You just feel a lot of things. You just feel a lot of things. But after doing tryptamines and then going back to smoking a lot of weed and letting yourself get lost in it, like you was saying, and like I'm experienced, you start seeing what the cannabis actually is doing for you. What it's doing for you.